Hello, guys, and welcome back. Kapla. Yeah. He's Commander Cockings.
Glory to you, Stuart.
And your house.
And your webcam. And I'm
Captain. Yeah, I'm Captain Foley. I already introduced you, but thank you.
Double glory for me and my intro.
I guess. Anyway, yes, today we're talking about something Klingon, in case you couldn't tell. And it is the bird of prey that we see in a Tribble Called Quest, which is in Season 2 of Prodigy.
Now this is, I would guess, the same bird of prey from Season 1, because they wouldn't make a whole new asset for this. But that was seen in a battle with a couple of beauties that I had to sort of extract and do some clever work on. These are incredibly clear views, incredibly clean views, and really showed it off. So we're going to look at it, compare it, and appreciate what we know is the custom Prodigy bird of prey, which is a more tactical feeling bird of prey, but it is different. And it's fun because, they didn't have any custom birds of prey in this era. It's always been the Star Trek 3 bird of prey, so it was fun of them to deliberately make a variant in this new era of Trek. So here it is landed.
And it's roughly Burrell size-ish. Might be, it's the same size as a Burrell, but it's quite different, as you just said. And we talked about this in Season 1 as well. It's bristling with more weapons, bigger weapons, shorter neck. There's subtle little details, which it was great to actually see it in this episode and get some really clear views of it. So
it's one of those few things where it's not that they failed to replicate it, it's that they decided to make a variant. And that's great. The big one that is obvious that we noticed last time, no cloaking ring. That red rim pipe detail on the front, not there. So this thing can't cloak in theory. Except it did cloak in the episode, which ruins that logic. So it can cloak without a cloaking ring. I don't think the people who made this ship knew that's what that was when they
changed the cloaking ring. It's somewhere else now.
Okay.
Another thing to point out too is, unlike the Burrell or the HMS Bounty that we see in Star Trek 4, the landing configuration in this one has the wings straight out as opposed to in the raised up position.
Yes.
Usually that's flight configuration straight out, and then there's attack, which is down, and then landing, which is the wings up. This has them clearly just kind of straight out.
Yeah, it's because in the previous time we looked at this, the way the blades are, there is not that separation so that the blades move up and down. So the thing in theory is a more locked configuration. It's got its own thing, so I don't know if it can go up. Now, they did show the thing 2 configuration here, which kind of goes against that a little bit, but they might again have forgotten it. It's not the same wing configuration, but yeah, there is also a landing leg in the head, which is going to take up quite a lot of space in the head, honestly, because that's a lot to lose.
Yeah, I noticed that too, because the HMS Bounty has just 2 rear landing legs that it sits on, so yeah.
Weight distribution difference, I guess. But yeah, I love you can see the people in the bottom, so you can very much see the scale. But yeah, really great view. Let's look at every beauty, though. I love the fact they did a Star Trek sort of 3-4 side view right up the head. Again, super different. Like, loads of differences in the design all around.
Yeah, it does feel like a more aggressive bird of prey than the Burrell. Especially that shot of it from the bottom. You can definitely see the extra guns on there, the longer guns on the wings, and then the shape of the head has those 2 little points. It feels just much more aggressive.
What obviously intrigued me the most, and I love the amount we saw of this, right? It was really, really featured, is that there's a giant landing, a giant gangway that comes out the bottom, which is much bigger than the one from Star Trek 3, which is literally a single person ramp pretty much. There's a giant light above it, and I'm very confused how this works and why it works. But it was giant, and we'll see closer in a minute. So this thing is obviously maybe a troop transport, in the sense of because why have a ramp that much bigger except to move cargo, right?
Well, I'm sure somebody in the comments is thinking right now, or thinking to comment, but it's a science vessel because there's a scientist aboard. Why would a Klingon science vessel need more weapons and look more aggressive? You'd think this would be a Burrell, honestly. But, I don't think it's a science vessel.
Well, also Burrells are 100 years old, so this might just be, we've mass-produced 6.7 million Bagdechs, so he just got a Bagdech.
Officially named now.
He has gone to fight the most serious enemy of the Klingon people.
True.
So if you're gonna have to have a bird of prey style ship to fight the Tribble horde, you get the most bristling weapon one, the most battleship bird of prey possible to fight the Tribbles.
Well, this is a custom one. This is the Tribble killer. It's fine.
Let's compare. Oh no, two more. Oh yeah, again, we're blessed with gorgeous shots. Look at these two close-ups. I mean, they really well, we had this model, we put some effort into it in season 1. Let's just make it sing, because these are shots that do not hide anything in terms of the model being good, and it is a good model.
It's a beefy landing strut, too. Way more beefy than the Burrell.
But look at that new aft. That is so different, and we will see how different, but that is not even close to the same.
Yeah, and a lot of people probably just assumed this was a bird of prey off the hop, but so many differences.
I mean, yeah, because as I said, the other ramp was like a single person. This is they take up the middle third. This is a proper giant cargo-based one. It's
like a gangway, not a ramp.
Well, absolutely. Considering the ship's not very big, that's a large percentage of the thing. And obviously a giant torpedo launcher, which does not have otherwise, so it's just sort of sticking out there facing back. Rather odd looking launcher. But let's do some direct comparisons though. First view, because clearly this is them being inspired to mimic the old Star Trek 3.
Yeah, and there you can see that the Burrell from Voyage Home does not have a front landing strut. And it does, you can see the cloaking ring. It's that tube that goes around the front of the head. So, and yeah, as I just said, much beefier landing struts on this one as opposed to the Burrell.
Although still stylistically similar, just more bolts. It's actually more subdivided, it feels like. And you can see the gangway. In the other one, it's big enough for 2 people, and it's right in the middle. And we know this one is giant. But very similar, feels very similar. And yeah, there's 2 giant cannons where the spotlights are normally versus the none. This ain't no Scout. But yeah, I love the reference to this. This was lovely. And I mean, you can't get more of a clear scale indication than guy standing next to thing. I mean, that's right. Next view, though, is comparing the landed. Now, of course, this is the Deep Space Nine 3D model. It is not the most detailed model of Bird of Prey in the world, but is the only screen-used canon version. So it is not trying to be perfect, but it is the approved version that we have to renders of. So do not take it with identical to Star Trek 3, but it is the official one, at least one from DS9, if you want to be literal about it. But that's the reference.
Looks like I was wrong about the length of the neck. I thought this one looked like a beefier, bulked up neck, but it is different. But.
So as we saw last time, it's not they changed proportion necessarily. It's that they brought that front curve cowling forward a lot, which then goes over the neck, which then changes the feeling. Although the neck is definitely a little bit bulkier. There's more of a middle piece going down, but 2 simple changes entirely changes the feel. It really does. And also same thing, they just stretched the entire front part of the blades, all the curves, just stretched it forward to take up more of the area. Looks great. And yeah, you can see those 2, the black slices sticking out, which are confusing either side. But if you look at how, I mean, again, we looked at this in season 1 to some extent, but even the lines of the plating is pretty much there. They pretty much got it. So they did try really hard, even with the wing pretty much identical. Even the texturing sort of has the same, 1990s quality, live action professional model animated 20 years later. The details somewhat similar because they're both aiming for similar-ish things.
But you can see the differences on the wing-mounted guns there, and the addition of the extra guns, like Sam said, where the spotlights are on the regular one.
Sure, makes sense.
And there's the red cloaking ring. That's what that is, guys. Trust us.
How it cloaks.
So yeah, that's quite an interesting. The head's quite a bit different actually, but it doesn't look it. The changes are subtle enough that at first glance you think it's just a regular bird of prey.
They're radically subtle.
Absolutely.
Because it's not the same ship, but it is the same ship. Yeah, it's crazy. And also, I don't know if we saw a lot previously, but you can see what I meant about the blades. There's now a new hull piece connecting.
Mm-hmm. Looks like there's more internal volume on the new one here because of that bulk at the front.
Yeah, the way it's stretched out. I mean, just making that bigger, you give more volume. Yeah. No, it's really great. I really like it as a Bird of Prey. It's a really nice variant. Now comparing the two aftershocks, which I compared earlier, as you can see, not at all the same. Not even close. There's a torpedo launcher. They've cut the engine module the way it is. Just not the same.
Yeah, the engines on the Burrell are quite distinctive with those red and yellow. We didn't get that here, but then again, we didn't see it flying in space. So
sure, they've definitely, they've been told to do. Obviously, this is in the story, right? We need to have this big landing thing. So they've just cut the second engine off, added a torpedo launcher to fill the space, and added a big ramp. And I'm fine with it. Different ship, right? I mean,
still wondering how that ramp works, though.
Yeah. Not well.
Yeah.
I guess it might be a telescope into the... Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I'm kind of trying to wrap my brain around it, and it's just not quite working. But that's fine. That's fine.
It looks giant.
It does.
But yeah, you can see the abstract, not at all the same. And that's okay.
I'm also wondering where the ramp is on the Burrell in this shot, but that's okay. Anyway.
And the next shot, though, is the other two views, as you can see. Yeah, this really shows... Obviously, they're not the same focal length, so it's not perfect, of course. But you can see the dimensional shifts. The bottom view, certainly, the way the cowling at the front is bigger, pushes forward more. Yeah, even to the side, which we missed. In the original one, the blades have these cut-ins, these little lines. They've pushed it all the way that way, so it's way more internal volume. Way more. Goodness. Wow. And simple stretches, but it works really well.
So, in the flying view there of the Prodigy one, are the wings slightly down? Okay.
They'd have to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've obviously used the conventional 33-degree angle from the Burrell. It's not identical, but because there is so on the other one there's a flat bit and then a... So I guess part of it can move down? Or do you think it's flat and it's just an optical illusion? No, because when it does move, and I remember thinking they were down, so it must... I don't know. I'm assuming they hinge... There's a flat but they hinge at this point, not at the blades, because they're all same position. Which is okay.
Different head shape for sure when you look at both views.
And you can see there's what looks like a giant water tank, bottom of the Burrell, a big curved circle thing that just sort of shoved at that bottom. It's not there. Neither is the big piping. Again, different, but that's absolutely fine.
And just for the record, the red ring around the torpedo launcher on the Burrell is in fact the deflector. So... It's not lit up on this other one, but I assume it's there probably. But since it's in an atmosphere, it doesn't need to be on.
I don't see holes, so I assume there isn't there. It's just painted. But if it doesn't need a cloaking ring, I guess the thing's just more advanced and doesn't need all the tech. That's okay. But yeah, and you thought it was the same. It ain't the same Bird of Prey. And I really appreciate seeing these views. These are really nice, clear shots. Yeah, really like seeing it. More.
This ain't your father's Bird of Prey. It's different.
Or even your grandson's Bird of Prey, because they stayed the same for a very long time.
Anyway, so there you go, guys. That is a look at the Prodigy Season 2 Bird of Prey as seen in a Tribble Called Quest. And yeah, it was great seeing the Klingons back. A Klingon. We got to see some interior shots as well, which is fantastic. So make sure that you don't miss any content we do, like maybe looking at the interior at some point. So hit that subscribe button. Make sure you click the notification bell icon to all. Please like this video. If you noticed anything that we didn't, please point out in the comment section below, or let us know if you even noticed that these were different Bird of Prey, because we're here to kind of inform you guys of these things.
We are. And if you want to support what we do here, these sorts of views, you just turn up and all the details there in front of you. Support that if you can via PayPal. It's one-time donation, trekyards@hotmail.com, or Patreon. It's like join the channel on YouTube, but on Patreon. Both monthly, both help us out tremendously, or one-time donations. But interactive ones, like a super chat during a live, you can say hi, or I think this, or I dislike this, or I love that. And we can read that out and integrate that into the discussion. Also, with thanks on any video. Each and everything helps what we do here. So if you can, please do.
That's right. So until next time, he is Commander Cockings.
He's kind of Foley.
Today is a good day to die. Don't die.
Or our next YouTube video.
Yes, go. Yeah, watch that.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.